have I play actor Theo Trưng Nữ Vương Street World One Vĩnh Long City. I have a happy family with two wonderful husbands and two sons. And I'm happy to join your workshop today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I'm really happy to have you here. And could you please tell me where you got information about our workshop from?
No, because I have much work at school. I just have some see some interesting picture about your advertisement on Facebook, but I don't know much from specific information. I come here to get some experience from all of you, and I hope that your workshop will successfully.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes, and I hope that our workshop will somehow satisfy you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Okay, and the last person I would like to invite, Hoàng Lung. Are you here?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, could you please share some information about yourself?
Hello everyone. My name is Lung. My full name is Nguyễn Hoàng Luân, and I'm currently working as a teacher at Zavik English Center. So I come from Đồng Tháp province, and it's really nice to meet all of you here, and especially some of my friends also present here.
Oh yes, very fantastic to hear your friends who are going to present here, right? And thank you. And what expectations do you have when joining us today?
Actually, I'm really interested in teaching English when I was a child. And when I studied at university, I have a lot of chances to work with a lot of amazing co-workers, and they are also inspire me a lot. So in this workshop, I just want to learn more about teaching methods and some new teaching methods for my lesson in the upcoming years. And especially, I want to meet and maybe cooperate well with all of you in the future, like in some thesis or some research about teaching methodology in the future. So that's why I joined this workshop today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing, and I hope that you are gonna enjoy our workshop a lot, and our workshop is going to somehow satisfy you. Thank you. Yeah, we remain some minutes. So I think I'm gonna invite one more person. Who volunteers? Who will volunteers to share something about yourself? Oh, Miss Woon Như.
Hello everyone. So my name is Như and I'm teaching at a private center, in the center. So my target students are teenagers and university students. So I hope that after the workshop, I can know some more technique or some more online platform in order to better my teaching. Yeah, that's all about my sharing.
Yeah, thank you. And where did you get information about our workshop from?
Yeah, I get information on Facebook because there are a lot of information on your fan page. So I think that is really interesting to me. And that's the reason why I registered and attend the workshop today. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, thanks for being here. And everybody, please turn on your camera so that we can shorten the distance. Okay, many thanks. And one more time, please change your original name into the name code. Okay, thank you. And you know, our workshop is about to start at 1:35, and I'm going to pass the floor to the two beautiful MCs today. First of all, and once again, I want to remind you that please change your name and also turn on your camera. Okay, thank you. And I think I would like to invite the last person. We remain a minute. Bình Phạm, Miss Bình Phạm, are you here? Hello, Miss. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to hear that you're good today. So could you please share some information about yourself?
My name is Bình and my full name is Anthi Bình. I'm a student in majoring in translation and interpretation English.
Nice.
Course 4 in Country University. Nice to meet all of you. Actually, I'm so surprised when in college as I just received a message on the group on Zalo and I attended and yeah.
Yeah, so what expectations do you have when joining us today?
Actually, I look in your name, the name of the workshop, and I kind of interested in development in career. As I think I hope to learn so many skills for developed my some skills in future careers and in a professional environment.
Yes, yes, thanks for sharing, and I hope that the workshop will bring you something meaningful today. Yes, yeah, everybody, and it's time for our workshop to start. So I would like to welcome our two beautiful MCs, and once again, could you please change your name into the name code? You can find out your name code in the invitation email, and if you have trouble switching your original name into the name code, just type in the chat box. We'll support you immediately. Okay, now please welcome the two MCs, Miss Tường Vi and Dong Trang.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to everyone and welcome to our workshop on innovative teaching practices and professional development, an issue that is becoming more and more critical for EFL teachers. And our event today will surely give you a lot of new ideas about teaching practices that might be useful for your teaching. And so please relax and enjoy the rest of this afternoon. It's my delight to be your MC for this informative workshop. I'm Tường Vi, and I'm so happy to be accompanied by my charming co-MC, Miss Đoan Trang. Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon, Miss. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very cheerful to be to be co-MC this afternoon event with Mr. V as well. And we appreciate your taking time off your busy schedule to join us today. We hope you will find this program that we have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. And before we begin this program, it's our great pleasure to welcome Dr. Nguyễn Nhi Khang, the lecturer and also our instructor. Our distinguished guest, Mr. Đặng Gia Bảo from Đông Đô English Language Center, Mr. Trần Minh Nhật, a teacher of English, Ms. Nguyễn Thúy Diễm from Symbol English Center, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Thống, and Ms. Phạm Ngọc Huyền from Kiên Giang University, and Ms. Phan Ngọc Uyên from AMA English Language Center. Our honorable presenters, Mr. Nguyễn Ngọc Sang, Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh, Mr. Huỳnh Trung Lập, Mr. Phạm Đức Thọ, Ms. Lê Bảo Trân, and Mr. Đặng Hoàng Tuấn, and all respectable participants of today's workshop.
And let me first of all introduce you the agenda. We will set the ball rolling with the opening remark from the doctor and also our lecturer of the course from 13:45 to 15:15, and we will have the first three speakers performing their presentations. After that, we will take a 15-minute break at 15:15. And during the break time, we will organize a game, and I hope that we can have your participation. After the break, we will continue the event with the rest of two presentations. Finally, a lucky draw will be held for those who join us until the end of the workshop. To begin our workshop today, we are pleased to have Dr. Nguyễn Duy Khang, our instructor, to deliver his opening speech.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well, right?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Just welcome to our first workshop of this year for this course, MA 28, and this course with the name Professional Development and English Language Autonomy. And this is a practice section in my course that all of the members in the group will try to act and present and organize a real workshop with visitor, with listener, with audience, with everything from the last week, from preparation from last week. And now it is the time to see their performance. Okay, welcome to my course. And don't think that it is a course, it's the workshop for you. Okay, thank you very much and good luck. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Khang, for the wonderful remarks. And moving right along, it's now my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh. He is a teacher of English who has been teaching English at Slavic Language Center for about 2 years. He mainly teaches young learners and teenagers, so boosting learner autonomy and motivation among students at this young age is, excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, so he's really interested in trying out new teaching techniques and using novel teaching tools into his teaching. Okay, he's going to share a presentation on the use of learning platforms, quizzes, and booklets as effective learning assessments and self-learning tools. Good afternoon, Mr. Thanh. Are you ready?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, so thank you. I will pass the floor to you.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thi Hoài Thanh, and today I'm glad to be here to share with you some of my experience in using the online platforms into my teaching practices. And I believe that everyone here will agree with me on the point that in order to teach young learners like kids and teenagers, we as a teacher need to make our lessons more engaging and vivid, right? So I would say the use of online learning platforms plays an important role in making a more interesting lesson And these online platforms can help create a more competitive and also enjoyable atmosphere in which our students get involved more into the lesson. And they also have the chance to review and access the knowledge gained after a learning period. So today I would like to provide you with a very brief summary about the two online platforms that I'm using, namely Quizy and Bluecat. And I also go through the strengths and weaknesses of each online platform in order to help you have an overview and select the most suitable one to use for your future teaching. And I would like to emphasize here the information that I am about to give you in this sharing section is based mainly on my own experiences after a couple of years using them. So you are advised to take time to experience them directly to have a deeper understanding of how the platform works and how effective it is. So right here, I would like to conduct a very quick survey. Have you ever used Quizy in your teaching? If yes, please write down the word yes in the chat box. Again, please write down the word yes in the chat box if you have already used Quizy in your teaching practice. Okay, thank you for your answers. I can see here a lot of us here have already used Quizy. And as you know, Quizy can be played both by kids and teenagers, and adult learner may find it engaging as well. And I mainly use Quizy as an alternative to Kahoot because personally I think Quizy is more interesting and can promote teamwork among the students. Quizy is a perfect tool for self-assessment and self-evaluation as the results are practiced and presented in a very specific manner, right? And teachers can easily see how well the students perform and what needs to be rechecked and retaught. In terms of the strength of Quizy, you can see here, we can get access to the question bank where other teachers around the world contribute and share their work to other teachers. And I would say here, it's like a community. We can type the lesson topic and choose the set of quiz, and then we can personalize it and we can make it our own. And we will have two options to create. Actually, we can create a lesson or we can create a set of quiz. When we choose to create a lesson, it means that we can design the slides and multimedia combined with a quiz and poll questions. So the students can learn and play at the same time. I experience it and I have to say it's a very useful tool because we can deliver the lesson. We can also access the student at the same time. And it can also promote interactive lessons thanks to the polls and open-ended questions. And when you choose to create a set of quiz, we can freely design the quiz with 5 different kinds of questions. We have multiple choice, checkbox, fill in the blank, poll, and open-ended questions. I think it can somehow diversify and make the quiz more engaging. When we compare to Kahoot, Quizy is more flexible, right? Because Kahoot only allows 2 kinds of questions, multiple choice and true false. And besides freely choosing the question type, we can also insert the images, audio, or even videos into the quiz. It can support well if we wish to let the students have a chance to practice the listening skill. And we can also set the time limit for each question, ranging from 5 seconds to 15 minutes. Yeah. And one point in favor of Quizy is that is about the question design. We can highlight important words and phrases by underlining the words, or we can change the color of important words, or we can also italicize the words. This is the plus point that other platforms don't have actually. And you can see here in the picture, we can add the explanation after each question so that the students can intensify their knowledge, or they know why the answer is incorrect in some cases, right? And when playing the quiz, we will have three options. Option number one, classic. It means the students play the quiz individually. Option number two, team option. It means the students are divided into 4 teams and they compete as a team. And the last option here, the test, it means the student take it as a test, but yeah, we say less stressful than the paper test, right? And when playing, the students can also collect the powers up, such as double the score, freeze the time, or delete 2 incorrect answers. And these powers up will create the winning opportunities for less achieving students and can also create some twist during the game. And when we assign the quiz as a homework, the students just need to click on the link that we provide them and we complete the quiz at home. This kind of practice can help create a more active learning attitude because it acts like a competition in which the students' answers are scored and the students will try their best to be in the top, right? And after the deadline is over, as you can see here, when the deadline is over, we can see the results of every student's work, and then we can have upcoming plans for what needs to be improved. And I would say the reports here are very detailed and specific. Last but not least, the students can also download the Quizy application into their phones, and it's smoother, and the students can log in the game more quickly. And you can see here, the appearance of Quizy application is very colorful, and it can easily grab the students' attention. However, Quizy also has some weaknesses that we need to take into consideration. One of them is about the flow of the quiz. In Kahoot, we can stop after every question to see the general result, and then we can provide the students with the explanation, right? However, in Quizy, when we run the game, students will play the quiz without any pause. It can be the drawback because in some difficult questions, the students answer incorrectly, but they don't know the reason. So learning cannot take place here. However, we can solve this problem by choosing the mode instructor paced. And secondly, all the students' scores are presented in the leaders board, and the students can see the results of each other. And somehow it may cause embarrassment for less achieving students when they are in the bottom, right? So now I would like to deliver some instructions for you as a new user. After login Quizy by our Gmail, we can see the face of Quizy is here. We can click on create here to start designing our own quiz or the lesson. We can click on explore to search for existing quiz that other teachers already designed. We can click on my library to see all of the quiz that we have designed so far. And the last one, reports here to see the students' results, the students' work results. And my recommendation here for you is to try out creating the lesson in Quizy, especially when the students are studying online like these days. This option can prove its amazing benefits. So instead of using normal PowerPoint slides, we can make a shift to Quizy. Here we can design the slides as normal, and we can also include the questions. And the questions here are graded or not graded. It depends on your choice. And they can help create a more competitive learning atmosphere. And it's similar to Mentimeter, but when you use Mentimeter, we are restricted in terms of the number of slides, right? And moreover, the late coming students can enter the lesson after it is started. And I think it's a very good thing. So that's all about Quizy, and I would like to make a shift to Blooket, the second online platform that I would like to introduce to you today. And the same question, have you ever used Blooket in your teaching practice? If yes, please write out the word yes in the chat box. Okay, thank you for your answers. And I can see here mainly the answer and no. And it's my pleasure to introduce it to you today. Yeah. You can see here the appearance of Blooket website is similar to Kahoot in some points, but more youthful and lively because it aims to young learners. And this online platform requires us to upgrade the account in order to use its premium offers. However, the basic option, or we say the Blooket starter, is still effective for big-sized classes. We can basically use all the wonderful things in this platform with no charge, no fee here. And you can see, Blooket makes use of cute animated icons, which certainly attract young learners' interest and attention, right? And when logging into the game, some students have to wait for other students, so they can take time to choose the avatar as a way of killing time before the game. And it's extremely easy to log in the game, as the students just need to click on the link that we share with them. And we also have a very supportive community where all the teachers share their work to the community, and we can easily download, we can easily search for them and personalize them. And there are about 11 game options to play, which promote different class arrangements such as individual work like fishing frenzy, racing, tower defense, or cafe, and so on. And also promote the teamwork like battle royale. And we can also assign the quiz as homework here. And for sure, our students can practice and have a lot of fun at the same time. We can also track the students' progress as the results of the practices are presented in a very detailed manner. And the next one here, Blooket allows up to 60 live participants at the same time, which is so good for big-sized classes. And in some other platforms, do you agree with me that the more achieving students will be always the winners, right? However, in Blooket, it's not the same. In Blooket, it helps the less achieving student, they have the opportunities to be the winners, because during the game, Blooket has some tricks. Yeah, so it can boost other students' motivation when they play the game. In other words, I would say, in order to win the game, the students need both knowledge and fortune. And in some occasions during the year, we as a teacher can try out new game versions like the Halloween, Christmas, or New Year. And for sure, other students can learn something interesting about the culture as well. However, like Quizy, Blooket also has some weaknesses. As you can see here, the outlook of Lookup is somehow childish, right? So it's more suitable for young learners only. And sometimes the point counting system may be a problem, because there is a clear distinction between good students and low achieving students, which may cause the feelings of inferiority and discouragement. And like all the online platforms with very great excitement, sometimes the students play the game for winning, not for learning. So we need to take it into our consideration. And here I also give you with the brief instructions as the new user. We can click on the icon create here to create a new set of quiz, or we can click on the icon explore to search for existing quiz that all the teachers in the community share with us. And all of the quiz that we design are assembled into the folder my sets here. And the set of quiz here can be modified and copied. Yeah, and the number of questions of each quiz should be more than 20 because the questions may be repeated during the game. And before playing, we can click on the icon host and choose the game version to play. Remember to set the time and the target result of the game. So above, I've just introduced you the two online platforms that I used the most frequently into my teaching practice. And each platform has its own advantages and disadvantages. So I hope after my sharing, you can take them into consideration for your current and future teaching practices. And I hope we share the same perspective here. These online platforms are good tools for promoting engaging lessons and can boost students' self-learning as well. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions and concerns, don't hesitate to raise questions. And I'm very pleased to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tan, for your informative sharing. And it was a very precise and relevant presentation as well. And I believe that Mr. Tan is willing to welcome the questions from our participants. So please, if you have any questions, please just raise your questions here. Yes. Okay, we have, I see the hand from Miss Thuy Yim. All right, so yeah, Miss, please.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thanks to the presenter for a very useful and colorful introduction. It's obvious that you did spend much time to prepare it, so much appreciated. So I often act as a trainer, so I believe that it's bringing me a new chance to apply for my training materials in the future. And thanks to that, I have two questions for you. The first one, somehow quizzes look like Kahoot, right? So as you talk, and do students need to have the mobile phone to involve in the activity of quizzing? That's the first one. And the second question, as you told me about the weaknesses of quizzing, so it cannot stop within the process. So the teacher just cannot explain how questions to the student. So can I assume that it contributes to the learner much as our game, but not the lesson? Can I assume like this? Yeah, that is my two questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thuy Yim, for your two questions. Yeah, and for your comments as well. For the first question, you asked that if the student needs to have the smartphone to play quizzing, the answer is yes. Yeah. However, because we have the mode play as the team, as I mentioned before, right? So some students that don't have the smartphones, it's okay because they can play, they can share the phone with the students who have the smart devices. Yeah, that's my answer for question number one. And question number two, actually we cannot stop when the game is run. However, we can add the explanation for the difficult questions so that the students can see the explanation. However, because Quizy is upgraded, I remember some months ago, we can choose the option instructor paced. It means we can run the game each question by, we say question by question. Yeah, it's like Kahoot, but please remember to tick that option instructor paced before playing the game. Yeah. Because I'm afraid that some teachers, when they play the game, they forget to choose the option.
Yep, got it. Thank you. And so it means that we only use Quizy for the teenagers and adults, but not the children. That's right, because they are not allowed to use the mobile phone. That's right.
In my cases, when I teach young learners, like in the elementary students, I will go around before the lesson and I borrow and I collect the smartphones from the teaching assistants or other teachers so that I can give the student the smartphone to play, and they can play as a team. Actually, we just need to have about 5 smart devices to play that game.
Okay, sure. So I understand. So that's me. It has more advantages for the student, for the learner, the young learner in the center and in the urban, but not in the rural, because we don't have enough mobile phone to do this. Okay.
Yeah, I have to say that actually.
Yeah, very practical. Thank you, presenter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The questions raised from Ms. Thuy Yim, and thank you for Mr. Tan's response. And everyone, do you still have any questions for our presenter? Please don't hesitate. Yes, okay, a hand from Miss Win Yu. Okay, Miss Win Yu will raise the question first, and then Miss Thuy Trang. Yes, Miss Win Yu, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tan, for your recommendation. I see that it's really interesting to apply Dojo platform. But have you ever experienced any incidents when you apply those platform into your class?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Actually, yes, but just sometimes, because we cannot ensure that the internet connection of the students are strong enough. So sometimes 1 or 2 students cannot enter the game. But I also have to start a game because I cannot keep other students waiting. However, in that case, I can share the screen, and the students who cannot get access to the game can still observe what is going on. And I also assign the quiz as a homework so that they can practice later at home. Secondly, when letting the students compete as a team, we need to be, I have to say, sensible and intentional in choosing the members of the team so that each team is equally competent. I remember a year ago when I let the students play the game, and after the game, 2 of my good students, they burst into tears because they lost the game, and they blame me for grouping them with low achieving students. And we know that the game is competitive, very competitive. So we should let the students know at the beginning that playing is for fun, for teamwork, for knowledge. So don't try to be so competitive and severe. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your answers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Win Yu. And Miss Thuy Trang, I think it's time for you to questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tang, for your sharing. And I also have a question for you that when my class size is big, I mean that about more than 30 students in a class. So do I need to upgrade my my Quizy account or Fluency account to let all of my students can access to the game?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your question. You mentioned the upgrading. As I mentioned before, when we use Fluency, the option blockage starter is completely free, and you don't need to upgrade the account, but you can still utilize all the basic functions, and it allows up to 60 live participants at the same time. So no need to upgrade here. In terms of Quizy, the fee for upgrading to Quizy Pro is about $2 a month. And after upgrading, you can make use of more existing resources. We can avoid advertisements. We can also insert the videos and audio clips into the quiz. However, the basic option of Quizy, I think it's enough. You don't need to upgrade because it doesn't have any restriction in terms of the number of live participants. And as I mentioned before, we don't ensure that all the students have the smart devices, right? So we can group them, group them together to play. So no need to have a lot of smart devices here. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I have got it. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Thủy Trang, for your questions here. And any questions from our beloved participants? Okay, if you still, yeah, Miss Phương Thận. Okay, I see your hand now. Right, so please raise your question. Oh, hello, Miss Thận.
Yes, thank you. Besides Lookit and Quizy, have you ever been using other platforms that have the same feature?
Yeah, yes. I have been using several different online platforms, and I also wish to share with you all of them, but time doesn't allow. I mainly use Lookit into my teaching, and I believe all of you here try Lookit once in your teaching, right? If you are interested, you can also get to know about GimKit.
Yes.
Yeah, GimKit, or we have AHA Slice, or we have Bamboozle, right?
Yeah.
Or we can also try Jeopardy and Workbone. Yeah, they are useful tools to make the lesson more engaging and more motivating. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially
thank you for your yeah.
Right, thank you, Mr. Thịnh, for constructive question from Mr. Hoài Thanh. Okay, from your questions, you can learn with some more useful platform for teaching. Okay, so our participants, if you still have some more questions for Mr. Hoài Thanh, please submit your questions via the link provided in the chat box, and our presenter will respond your questions via email. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hoài Thanh, for a very successful presentation.
Thank you.
And now, everyone, I would like to introduce our next speaker. We are extremely honored to welcome Mr. Nguyễn Ngọc Sang. He is an English language teacher and an MA candidate in Cần Thơ University. His target students are teenagers and beginners of the English language, and whichever position in teaching, he pursues English by sharing in his professional development. Therefore, his philosophy in both teaching and learning is to bring, share, and listen to colleagues and students for new things and ideas. His presentation is on barriers teachers face in integrating ICT during English lessons. However, we truly regret to inform you that Mr. Sang is unable to deliver a live presentation due to health concerns. We will instead provide a video of his presentation. And our beloved participants, if you have any questions for Mr. Sang, please type and send your questions via the link provided in the chat box, and Mr. Sang will respond them via emails. And now we are about to play the video and hope you enjoy it and find it useful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nguyễn Ngọc Sáng, a MA candidate, cohort 28 at Cần Thơ University. It's my pleasure to be here today to talk about one of the most recently concerned phenomena in language teaching, integrating ICT, information and communication technology during English lessons. We may all know that ICT is a broad subject that it involves a variety of concepts, and in the educational field, teacher may deal with ICT as an interaction with computers and the internet to plan and teach in a very, innovatively different ways. I mean, teachers can use computers, laptop, and even iPads to design an attractive lesson with images, sound effects, and games to foster student learning process. That sounds amazing, right? So as you can see, when I was an undergraduate at Cần Thơ University, I had a chance to study a subject named integrating ICT in English language teaching. So I think this is a very amazing and interesting subject that I have ever learned. At that time, the feelings and impression for the importance of the subject itself is not intense as the moment I'm talking to you right now. Are you in any agreement with me for the crucial roles of mastering ICT skill in such a situation? The situation is that we are doing online teaching and online learning. The situation is that we are missing our schools and missing our students much more deeply than ever before. The situation is that we are facing more challenges than ever before to teach an interesting lesson. And the situation is that we cannot successfully integrate technology into our English lessons. Now, let's follow me to see what really happens to teachers when integrating ICT during their English lessons. So I have a question. Have you ever hesitated to do something or to practice something that is good for you? So the answer is maybe many yes, right? The first thing I really want to mention is teacher hesitancy. We may have been told by chance or been lectured on the benefits of ICT in education. We may all know that ICT can help with many things, just like, yes, ICT can enhance to help the teacher to revolutionize learnings. ICT can help to produce richer curricular. ICT can enhance pedagogies and many blah 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 amazing thing that ICT can help. Let's see, how do we react to the benefit of ICT? How do we react to such a huge golden opportunities and the benefits like this? So can you guess? Yeah, we hesitate to do things new. That's really something, yes, something really uh, not really new to us, right? Yeah, and that's really how we tend to respond to ICT integration. So look at the way. I just think it's like hesitating to get vaccinated of many people. We all know that vaccination can help to do a lot of things, just like to help to reduce the rate of infection, and to reduce infection, something like that, and even the rate of fertility. However, people will keep in mind something like, is there any chance to reunite my ancestor? Is it better than American vaccine? Or should I wait for homemade vaccine like Vietnamese homemade vaccine? And as a result, many of them remain unvaccinated. Yes. To look back, if um, we consider, if we consider ICT as a dose of vaccine, can you guess what would happen to those who neglect or hesitate to learn and apply ICT in their teaching? So, what are we familiar with? All right. So just see, they claim that they are more referable to traditional method. Yes, that's it. They say, yeah, I really do something like very traditionally. My concern is more on the syllabus or more on exercises and practices. Hence, I think it is inappropriate to assess student and respond. Uh, assess student respond to the use of ICT tool smart and very easily to catch up student could do better. Meanwhile, the slow student, the slow learners need more guidance. So that's it. That's what happened. So for the next one, I would like to share is that time consuming. So we heard a lot about the word time consuming. We heard a lot. Is devastating drawback on those who try to waste the time, right? But actually, time consuming here refers to the amount of time the teacher needs to spend on the lesson design or spend on learning new skill for ICT skill, new skill that they may not find difficult to learn, something like that. And one of the most referable reason is mentioned. It's just like there is no time to finish up the syllabus and prepare the students for the examination. I need more time to mark the grammar points on their vocabularies and composition, literature, comprehension, and additional exercise books. And teachers don't have time. They need to prepare a lot of things for their classroom. But you know what happened? COVID-19 again. We face COVID-19, and it's really time consuming for a 45-minute lesson that prolonged to even an hour lesson. So that's really time consuming for the teacher, right? So this is one of the barrier. And the next thing I would like to mention is this one. So teaching experience and age. The more experience the teacher is getting, the more ages they are, the the older they are. I mean, they will get more difficult or more. They will face more challenges in integrating ICT into their teaching, especially English language teaching. Just look at Jessica, who is 27 years old, right? And let's just say integrating ICT isn't stressful at all. So yes, we made to um, we made to see the fact that we want to see the fact that everyone can apply ICT in their teaching to support their teaching to revolutionize their teaching. But actually, what we can do is something very little because the teacher likes traditional class than ever. The traditional class, and even in online teaching, the tendency to apply traditional method and traditional way of teaching is also um, put into the practice of teaching in the online teaching context. And yes, that's it. That's a very sad, that is a sad fact about teaching and learning up to now. And one of the most referable reason that teachers may have mentioned is their uh, most challenging barriers in applying ICT into their teaching is that they they lack of ICT skill, and they lack of the support from the school and from the teachers, from their colleagues and from friends. So without help, the teachers cannot know what they are doing is right or wrong, or what they are design is attractive or not. They have no comments. They have no compliments on it. So this is very sad for the teacher. They some of them want to cooperate and want to work with the other people to design lesson, but due to some factor I mentioned before, just a time management or time consuming, something like that, and this is not real for them, and they still lack of ICT skill. They cannot find good sources to learn ICT skill and to apply them and to see how effective the ICT integration works during their lesson. So this is very important truth, that teacher lack of ICT skill and lack of support from their colleagues. So let's see. So what can we help teachers to overcome these kind of barriers? So the first one I want to mention is about attitude. So attitude means a lot of things to every teacher. As being a teacher, we know that teaching attitude for our student is very important. Attitude account for 70% of success in the new future, in the future, and in a very near, very close future. But actually, some of the teachers didn't want to change. They want to remain the attitude of teaching as a teaching lessons or traditional class, I mean on-site classroom, and they want to interact with the student. Yes, we appreciate that, but actually at this time, the situation is getting more and more harsher, harsher, getting harsher and harsher for the teacher and the students to be really in the same place and to interact with the others just like a normal. Uh, and during the time the COVID-19 did not happen in the past, but actually attitude can account for the successful or ICT integration during English lesson. So if we can change and maintain positive attitude about how and what we can do and learn from ICT integration and the benefits of ICT integration into English lesson, the teacher will learn a lot. We will have more incentives, more motivations to continue their learning as a long-term professional development. The second thing I want to mention is teacher innovation. So being innovative is something very challenging to some teacher also. And I think teacher may face a lot of challenge because they cannot generate a new idea, and they need to be innovative for their teaching method, innovative in the pedagogies, innovative in the lesson they design, to be innovative uh, in every aspect of the lesson. So some remains unchanged, just like traditional ways, traditional method of teaching, face-to-face homework, exercises, and practices. These things are boring. We know these things are boring, very boring. And the next thing that we need to provide the teacher technical support and any accessibility that the teachers can learn and can refers to um, get their job better. And the final one is time management. The teacher needs to very careful in planning what they do and what they could learn and what they can bring to the classroom practices. This is very important because if they are not good at time management and they don't have time management skills, things gets more challenging, more harsher, a little bit harsher, and more. I mean, if the teacher fail to manage the time, they will fail in their lesson because in current situation, the teacher need to spend more time to design the lesson, need to spend more time to deal with the computer and the internet or something like that, and that's it. And so so life is always boring. It is somehow boring, and if you are sad, you can buy a cup of milky tea, right? And with a cup of milky tea doesn't make you happy. So you try 2 cups of milky tea, yes, and then you will be a little bit happier, right? So for ICT integration, I mean, if we face challenges, if we cannot uh, deal with ICT integration in our classroom, and we are not good at this skill. So what can help if we are set with ICT barriers? So I think books can help. So on today presentation and workshop, I would like to introduce you two course books that we may feel interested in, and you can buy it because they are all written by our uh, lecturers, Mr. Nguyễn Duy Khang, uh, PhD, Miss Phan Thị Tuyết Vân, PhD, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Lợi, Mr. Phan Việt Thắng, and Miss Lê Đỗ Thanh Hiền. So these are the two course books. I hope that you can learn and find something new and useful for your teaching and applying ICT skill in your English lesson. Final word, I want to use the metaphor of a cup of coffee like this to talk about the integration of ICT. So you know that everything has two sides. One is good and one is really bad. But actually, we can see that is the way we apply ICT in our English teaching. We can smell a good thing from the cup of coffee, but when we try this coffee, we feel a little bit bitter. It's very hard to drink for the very first time. And if what if and what if you can drink it for the second time, for the third time, and even many times later, you can like this cup of coffee. So the underlying message is just enjoy it. We as a teacher, we know that we can learn new things by doing things, by putting ourselves into the shoes, into that situation. Just do it, enjoy it, and I hope that we can learn from it, learn many things that is good for your teaching, and you can support your teaching in such a situation like COVID pandemic is very struggling right now. And I would like to wish you all the best. Uh, Keep a good health and take care of yourself. And I hope one day I will see you and talk to you face to face interaction rather than through the screen of the computer like this. Thank you very much for your attention. Wish you a nice day. And I hope that our workshop can provide and have something for you to bring home. Thank you very much for attention. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Shang, for a very insightful presentation indeed. Integrating ICT in English lesson really concerns most teachers, especially in the situation that most of us are teaching online right now, right? So hope that you find lots of useful things through Mr. Shang's sharing. And we would like to receive comments from our beloved participants. So please, if you have any comments, raise your hand. Yes, all right. So Ms. Hoàng Yến, please.
Yes, thank you for sharing presentation, which were very meaningful and attracted me by the opening story. From this presentation, I know more about the importance of knowing more about technology that will help teachers a lot in teaching, especially during this time. And allied four factors can help teachers overcome these barriers he just mentioned in his presentation, as well as the skill to deal with each of these problems. Once again, thank you very much to my presenters for this useful information. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Hoàng Yến, for your comments. Now, all right, yeah, I see Ms. Thu Thủy. Yeah, so Ms. Thu Thủy, please.
Yes, first I want to thank you, Mr. Sang, with a well-prepared presentation that he conclude many interesting pictures and images, or some like a coffee, a glass of coffee, which make us think about a lot of technologies like integrating ICT into our teaching, especially in in our modern like now, and we can have ICT in our lesson to make the student become more fascinating in our lesson. And he provide us a lot of advice for us as a teacher to overcome these barriers of technologies. And yes, I think I really appreciate his effort, and it a quite informative presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Thu Thủy. And next, I would like to invite Ms. Ngọc Mai and then Mr. Hoàng Luân later.
Yes, yeah, I think I like this presentation. I think it's very useful and predictable. I think he's provide many necessary for me to apply to teach many students in high school. Yes, I think that's all for my presentation.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ngọc Mai, for your comment. And now, Mr. Hoàng Luân. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Zane, for such a very informative presentation. So yeah, I really enjoy the way that you deliver the information to the audience. And I really enjoy the part that you share with us the way to overcome the barriers. Like we can change the attitudes of the teacher, or we need to be more innovative in teaching English. And we also like have some technical support from other factors, and especially the ways that he delivered by using a lot of vivid images, like he used metaphors and some implications that make the audiences feel like, well, he has a good sense of studying literature back so many years ago. I think so, and thank you for your presentation, which is very good and impressive. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hoàng Luân, for your comments. All right, and next I saw a participant. Okay, so Mr. Huy, right? Hello. Yeah, I see your raise your hand. So can you turn on your mic? Yeah, and our participants, if you have any questions for Mr. Sheng's presentation, so please don't hesitate to send your questions to the link provided, and Mr. Sheng will respond via email. Yeah, so I see. Yeah, so you can send your comments through the link too, and we will send it to Mr. Sheng. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the third presentation of our two speakers, Mr. Huỳnh Trung Lập and Mr. Phạm Đức Thọ. Mr. Huỳnh Trung Lập is an EFL teacher. He is also an MA candidate who studies principles and methods of language teaching at CTU. His teaching philosophy is teaching is evolving. That's why he is always in search of ways to incorporate technological advances in his teaching.
And Mr. Phạm Đức Thọ is an MA candidate at Cần Thơ University who has worked as a teaching assistant at a private English language center and tutor for over 2 years. He had experience in dealing with different kinds of young learners and teenage learners as well. So engaging learners in class activities is what he's really into. He is eager to discover and employ new teaching.
Yeah, and our two speakers are going to present to us a presentation on active retrieving using Anki and Flexity to improve learners' long-term memory. So good afternoon, Mr. Lap and Mr. Thọ.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Yeah, so the floor is yours now. Yeah, we can't wait to listen to your sharing. So please go ahead.
So hello, everyone. I'm sharing the screen right now. So my name is Huỳnh Trung Lập, and my friend Phạm Đức Thọ will present about active retrieving and using Anki. Also, I'm sorry. You see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So my friend will present about active retrieving and how to use Anki and Flexity to improve learner long-term memory. And our presentation including 4 main parts. First part, we talk about definitions of active retrieving. And we also mentioned briefly about the importance of active retrieving. And then we introduce a little bit about the 2 applications, which are Anki and Flexity. And then we will show you how, my friend will show you how to use the 2 applications. So first, what's active retrieving? So when we think of learning, we usually associate it with taking note, highlighting, learning by heart, rereading material, but actually they are the learning strategy that proven to be ineffective. Active retrieving, on the other hand, focuses on the output by getting the information out through the acts of recalling, and those information that are recalled is strengthened and is less likely to be forgotten. And our brains are actually really bad as remember things, as the German psychologist Ebbinghaus find out that what we learn will disappear within about 50% within 24 hours, and after like a week, there's less than 5% of those information be retained. And in line with this belief, Alan Turing in 1991 said that if we learn something and we don't use it or never use it, our brain will think that the information are useless and is and we'll equivalent them as like output that we never know the information. That's why we need to recall the information that we learn consistently. And in the study in 2011 done by Carpet and Plant, the study was conducted in Japan, and the researcher split the student into 4 groups, and the participant learned the same material, and each group was given the different instruction. The first group read the material only once. The second group read the material 4 times. The third group read material and making mind maps. And the last group, a student read material once and records as much as possible. And the result was surprising. After the verbatim and inference test, the participants were asked to recall fact and concept. The last group, which was the active recall group, outperformed the other groups that show how active retrieving affect learner memory. And we can use like some strategy to enhance, like to apply active retrieving into our study, like using flashcards as selecting through the 2 apps that we're going to present today. The first application is the Anki. This is an application for making flashcard and test yourself. And you can also see your progress through learning progress through the app. And you can like create base reverse card or just basic flashcard, and you can also create a clone test to test your memory. And when you don't have time, you can download the available flashcards on the website nqweb.net if you don't have time. And it also allows spaced repetitions, which are very good for your memory. If the information is good, you remember information, you can click like good and easy. You learn this again in 1 minute, which my friend will show you later in this presentation. And the next app is Fluency, which uses artificial intelligence to help you create text, quizzes, or tutorial within a few minutes. And these are the 2 apps. The Fluency application, you can create a multiple choice questions or just a question with answer with the help of artificial intelligence. And now I'm going to show you the strengths and weaknesses of the 2 apps. First of all, it's very easy to use. Even like you're not kind of like tech savvy person, you can use it with ease. And second of all, they have like minimal design, so they basically distraction free. You don't have like experience pop-up art or something like cute illustration that distract you from your study. And next is the free. It's important because the target user of the 2 apps are student, and student resources are really limited. So it's very suitable for student. And next is it's also suitable for wide range of information. You can basically learn anything on this app, on 2 applications, from medical term, physics, languages, vocabulary, whatever you want. However, the 2 apps still have some weaknesses. The first one is it's a little bit time consuming to create flashcard or multiple choice questions in the 2 applications. However, it can be improved by downloading the available flashcard on their website, as I mentioned before. A second limitation is a little bit boring because of their minimal design, and also because the repetitions of the flashcards. So some learner may experience like boredom while using the 2 apps. However, the benefits of using them may outweigh weaknesses. So I would say it's a beneficial to use to have. And now my friend Dipta will show you how to use them. Hello, Tao. I will stop sharing.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you how to use Anki and Velocity. So, okay, I will share the screen. Okay. Okay, do you see my mouse pointer? Yeah. So, uh, so first we need to, okay, I will show you the way of creating a simple flashcard with Anki. So we need to open Anki first. Okay, as you can see here, there are many decks here. And first you need to create a deck. Okay, you click here to create a deck. And you need to type the name of your deck. Okay, for example, vocabulary. Or, so, okay, and you click here to create a new flashcard. Yeah. Okay, and you can see, as you can see in the screen, that there are two boxes, this one and this one. And in this boxes, you can type the word you want to learn. For example, I want to learn the word proceed. Okay, so I type here. And the information here is like what you write on the back side of your flashcard, and you can type is the word meanings, Vietnamese meaning, and or an example sentence. Okay, right here. And because I'm lazy, so I will copy it from the online dictionary. Okay, so I go to dictionary and I copy it, and then I got its meaning here, and then I type Vietnamese meaning. And I copy an example. So I add some colors to make my flashcard look better, red, and I make it bold. Yeah. And this one. Okay. This one. Okay. And add. And you can do the same steps to make another flashcard, and then I will show you how we can use Anki to test ourselves. So I already prepare a desk. So I'm go to this and study now. Okay, study now. And the first word, initiative. Oh, I look at it and I try to remember, but I cannot figure out what does it mean. So I decided to show the answer, the rest of the flashcard, and I look at it. And because I feel it's really hard for me to remember its meanings, so I decided to choose again here, so that I will see it. It will be shown in a minute later. Yep, again. And the next word, survey. Oh, I remember this word, and I can even make a sentence with this word. So I saw the answer, and I think it's easy for me. So I click here, easy. and I will see it in 13 days. Okay, I hope that you can see how to create and how to use Anki flashcard, and then I will talk about Flexity. Okay, so will go to flexity.com here. Okay, flexity.com. And then because we want to create multiple choice with Flexity, so we click here to create multiple choice question. So after you log in and you can log in your account, you can click here to create a question. Yeah, question. And as you can see in the screen that you can type your question here, your correct answer here, and several instructors. Yep, right. But I will introduce to you an amazing things. Imagine that I'm a student, and last week my teacher gave me a lesson about the um, circulatory system, and I got some notes here, and I want to make a question from this statement. For example, this statement: the artery can carry oxygen with blood from the heart to other parts of the body, and I copy it, and I go back to recipe, and I click to generate, and I paste my information here, and I click here, and it will help me to generate a question. Oh, okay, we have the question here and the answer. Yeah, and you can see that there are many different kind of question because I try to fill in the blank. So I choose this question, and I just type what I want to, some structures here. For example, when, okay, capillary, yeah, and then done. Okay, we already have questions that we can set ourselves. And if you want to make another question, you can click here, or you want to edit your question, you click here, and you want to delete it, you click here. And after we finish a set of questions, we can share the link here. Remember to type the quiz names and your name. Okay, for example, I type because it is about the heart, so I type the heart here, and my name. Okay, generate link, and we got the link. Okay, we can share the link with our classmate, or we can copy it. Okay, I will copy it right below my notes so that I can uh, test myself again before my exam. Okay, so I will copy again. Oh. Okay, and we will check if the link works or not. We click here, we copy the link, and then we put it here. Okay. Okay. I will share the link to the chatbot if you want to do the test. Okay. And of course, my answer is okay. We have correct answer. So I hope that you are eager to use Anki and Varsity on your teaching process. And I hope that you can show your student how to use Anki and Varsity so that they can use them to testing themselves. Okay, thank you for your listening.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lap and Mr. Thor, for your inspirational and practical sharing. And we truly appreciate your cooperation and contribution. And ladies and gentlemen, have you got any questions for our two presenters now? Please raise your hand. Okay, yes, here I can see Miss Between hands. Yeah, please raise your question.
Okay, so congratulations for your presentation. Thank you very much for a very informative and impressive presentation from two handsome presenters here. So I have never known about these kinds of apps, so I think I can bring something home and apply for my future teaching. So I have a question for you. So what makes the two apps better than others, since I know that there are many apps with similar features? Yeah. That's it, my question.
The question is to me?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your very interesting questions. So you said that there's many, there's a lot of application with similar feature like Quizless or Brandscape also. But what makes the two apps better than other? I think is the first, their design. They're quite like simple, and I would say boring than the other apps on the internet. So because of the boring feature, that's make them really effective in helping learners to focus on learning instead of being distracted by like advertisements or like pictures or interesting things, I think. And the next thing is the two apps are free to use, so I think it's make them better than other applications, because other apps like Brandcap, like you have like 1 month trial, and after that you have to pay for to be a member. So I think that's what makes them better than other applications. Thank you for your
thank
questions.
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Ms. Thuyền, for raising a very constructive questions for Mr. Lap. And before I invite Mr. Huỳnh Đào to raise the questions, I also want to notice that if you still have some comments for the presentation, you can also give us now. And now, please, Ms. Huỳnh Đào, yes, it's your time for questioning. Yes.
Yes, thanks for your informative sharing about the two apps, Anki and Lastly. And I have a question, is that have you ever experienced any problems when you use 2B apps? Thank you.
Okay, I will answer your questions. Okay, so to be honest, I have never experienced any difficulties when using Anki and Varsity. And but I want to share that I usually spend a lot of time thinking about good distractors. Yeah, because I can have the correct answer, but sometimes I have to think about the structure, how to make it. It look brilliant and it's not silly destructors. And but I think it's an opportunity for me to look at what I have learned in class and when I read a question. So it is time consuming, but it's okay for me. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for Miss Huỳnh Đào questions and Mr. Thọ answers. Yes, here, I can see a hand from Mr. Minh Nhật. Okay, yes, please raise your question.
All right, thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone. I thank you for your presentations, and I really love to know about the first application where you make flashcards, the flashcard making operator. The first one is Anki, right? ANKI, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to know that if that flashcard making operator has the option to share the flashcards that we make to our friends, or the way that we export in the flashcards data to our friends or to our students so that we can study better, because I can not see any way to export the data from that application.
Yes, you can like share your flashcard with your friends on the or to applications from Anki and Flexity, and there's a share features. Let me show you. Share with your friend. There's a share feature. Definitely, I did try it before. But yes, you can definitely share with your friend, and you can also import or download the available or receive flashcard that are available that are made by your friends to import to your Anki. But what you need to do is create an account to do that. You can create an account by your Google Mail. So yes, but you need an account on Anki to do this feature, to use this feature. And thank you for your questions. Thank you
for answering.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Minh Nhật, for a very interesting question. Okay. Yes, everyone, do you still have some questions or any comments for our two presenters, please? All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. And thanks again for Mr. Lap and Mr. Thọ. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned before, after the presentation of Mr. Thọ and Mr. Lap, we will go to a short break. But before we join a game, I would like all of us to take a group photo together to commemorate today's workshop. So please, can you turn on your camera and we can have the group photo right now. And co-host, if you can see that anyone didn't turn on the camera, please tell them. And now, Miss Nhu Huân, are you there? Can you help me to take a photo for all of us?
Okay, wait me a minute.
Yes. Don't forget to say 3, 2, 1 for us to ready, right? Everyone, please smile, or maybe you can laugh.
3, 2, 1. Okay, then I have pictures now. I would like to have one more pictures, everyone.
Yeah, let's smile again, everyone. One more. You can pose. Yeah, everyone, you can pose. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your participation. And now, okay, we will send our, when we post our photo, okay, on Facebook for you, right? And now it's time for us to cheer you up, but I want to remind a bit that the last two presentations will start promptly after the break time. And we are looking forward to receiving your feedback for our workshop. And please fill in the form via the link provided in the chat box. Okay. Before having break time, let's join a game together. Everyone, please listen carefully to my instruction, okay, to make sure that you can join and win the game. We are all finished listening and watching the first three presentations with the performance of the four speakers, Mr. Hoài Thanh, Mr. Ngọc Sang, Mr. Trung Lập, and Mr. Đức Thọ. So we will raise some questions about four speakers. After hearing the questions, please raise your hand if you know the answer. The person who has the most correct answer will be the winner and receive a gift. So everyone, are you ready?
Yeah,
are you
I'm
ready?
ready.
John? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So nice. And one notice for you, you just can raise your hand to answer after I finish reading the questions. All right. And don't let you wait anymore. I'm about to read the first question right now. The first question is, who is the second speaker of our workshop? Okay, I can see the first hand is from Mr. Gia Bảo. Okay, can you give us answer?
Yeah, this is Mr. Shang.
Mr. Shang. Okay. Ms. Đoàn Trang, is that a correct answer?
Actually, our first speaker is not Mr. Shang. There is a little change in the agenda, and you see it from the beginning. So
yeah,
okay, better luck next time.
I think that I asked, excuse me, Ms. Đoàn Trang, I asked the second speaker. The second speaker.
The second?
The second speaker.
Right. So sorry. So, yes, the second speaker, Mr. Shang. Sorry, so I forgot. All right. So
yeah. Okay. So Mr. Gia Bảo, you got one point.
Congratulations, you got one mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's move to the question number 2. Are there any female speakers presenting up to now? Hands, please. Hands. Okay. Yes. The first hand is belong to Miss New Hun. Yes. Please raise your answer.
I think that's Miss Lê Bảo Trân, right?
Miss Lê Bảo Trân. Oh, you saw it on our agenda, right?
No, I heard in the workshop.
In the workshop. Okay, but remember that we just focus on the first 3 presentation with the 4 speakers. And my questions are there any female speaker presenting up to now? Okay, so Miss Đoàn Trang, is that correct?
Actually, Miss Bảo Trang hasn't presented yet. Yeah, so try it again later, Miss Huân.
Yeah, but thank you, Mr. Huân, for joining. And Mr. Hoàng Luân?
Okay, so up to now, we don't have any female speakers.
Yeah, okay. And can you list the names of the 4 speakers that has already presented?
Oh, so full name, right? Or just short name?
Just the name and first name, yeah. Or maybe just first name.
So two of my friends, so Phạm Đức Thọ, right? Ngọc Sen. The first one, Thi Hoài Thanh, Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh.
Yes.
And the last one.
The hot boy.
Trung Lập.
Yeah, Trung Lập. Excellent.
Okay.
Is that correct, Miss?
Yes, exactly. Congratulations. You got one mark. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoàng Luân. All right. Very excellent memory. Yeah. And let's move on to the third questions, everyone. Who has been teaching at Zavik English Language Center? Yes. Okay. Mr. Hoàng Lương, a bit late. Okay, Miss Thuy Diễm, go first. Yes, please.
This is teacher Hoài Thanh.
Teacher Hoài Thanh.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah, thank you, Miss Thuy Diễm. Okay, how about Miss Đoan Trang? What do you think about him?
Okay, excuse me, because there is the problem with my internet connection, so I could not hear the answer. So could you please check for me? Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Thuy Diễm. Okay, answer that. Mr. Hoài Thanh has been teaching at Zavik English Center. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Congratulations. So one mark for Miss Thuy Diễm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Hoàng Lương, please try. Okay, faster.
I will try.
And the fourth question for you: whose teaching principle is teaching is involving? Again, whose teaching principle is teaching is involving? Could Miss Thuy Diễm and Mr. Hoàng Luân, can you lower the hands? Mr. Hoàng Luân, would you like to answer?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I just missed this one. I cannot remember. So sorry for this.
It's okay, Mister. All right. Please lower your hand, please, Mister. Okay. Here, I can see that Miss from link. All right. If you know, you can raise your hand, Miss. Okay. And now Như Huân. Raise your answer. Okay, unmute your mic,
yes.
please.
I think Mr. Huỳnh Trung Lập, right?
Mr. Huỳnh Trung Lập. Okay, Miss Đoan Trang, can you help me?
Yeah, so now no doubt about it. It's the correct answer. Congratulations, Huỳnh. Yeah,
Thank
one
you,
mark for you.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. And the next question. Mr. Nguyễn Ngọc Sang pursues learning by sharing in his professional development, right or wrong? Yes, Mr. Hoàng Luân, you're first.
I think it's wrong.
It's wrong. You think it's wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check with Miss Đoan Trang.
Yeah, so actually learning by sharing is Mr. Shang is what Mr. Shang pursues in his professional development. So this is right. So sorry, Mr. Hoàng Luân. Better luck next time, right? So the question is a little bit tricky, right? So yeah.
I know that it challenged your memory a lot, but thank you for attending. Yeah. Okay. The next one, also the sixth question. Whose presentation topic is barriers teachers face in integrating ICT during English lessons? Miss Thu Thủy, yes, okay.
Yes, I think it's Mr. Shang presentation.
Mr. Shang presentation. Yeah, let's wait for Miss Đoan Trang.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's correct. Congratulations, Miss Thu Thủy. One mark for you. All right.
I remember that Miss Thu Thủy has already raised the comments for Mr. Shang presentation. That's what she did well. Thank you. And one more. Listen carefully, guys. Who presented the usage of Anki and Flexity to improve learners' long-term memory? Who's that? Oh, well, Mr. Hoàng Luân again. Yes.
So two presenters. The first one is Thọ and the second one is Trung Lập.
Okay. Miss Đoan Trang, please.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr. Hoàng Luân. Your answer is correct. Yeah, so
very
you got 1 mark. Yeah.
1 mark. Yeah. Okay. Miss Thuyền, try more. Please faster next time. Okay. Another question. Were Quizy and Phuket online learning platform presented by Mr. Phạm Đức Thọ? Miss Thu Thủy again. Yeah. Thu Thủy,
Yes,
please.
I think that is in the presentation of Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh.
So the answer is
yeah.
The answer is yes or no?
No.
Yes or no? No. Okay, Miss Đơn Trang, please.
Yeah, congratulations, Miss Thu Thủy. All right. Actually, the presenter who mentioned this is Mr. Thanh, not Mr. Đức Thọ, right? Congratulations.
Yes. And the 9th questions is, whose philosophy in both teaching and learning is to bring, share, and listen to colleagues and students for new things and ideas? Miss Thuyền, do you have the answer for this question?
So sorry, not yet. I'm thinking about that.
Yes, okay, right. How about the others? I read again. Whose philosophy in both teaching and learning is to bring, share, and listen to colleagues and students for new things and ideas? Yeah, Mr. Hoàng Luân.
So I think the answer is Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh.
Your answer is Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh. Okay,
Yeah.
let's check Ms. Đơn Trang.
Yeah, so the question is, whose philosophy in both teaching and learning is to bring, share, listen, and so actually this is not Mr. Tan's. Okay.
It's okay, Mr. Okay. And other answer, please. We have that does not belong to Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh. So we have Mr. Lạp, Mr. Thọ, and Mr. Sang. Oh, Đức Thuyền again. Now you have your answer, right?
Yes, I think Mr. Nguyễn Ngọc Sang mentioned about this statement.
Yeah, okay. How about you, Đơn Trang?
Exactly, yeah. That's Mr. Shanks.
That's Mr. Shang. Yeah, 1 point for Miss Thuyền. Congratulations. Okay. And the last question is also the easiest one. Okay. Mr. Leung first, can you lower your hand? Yeah, all right. How many speakers are MA candidates at CTU? Oh, at Cần Thơ University. How many speakers are MA candidates at Cần Thơ University, everyone? The last question, easy one. Okay, Miss Như Huân, please.
I guess 5 speakers, right?
5 speakers. Can you list the name of the 5 speakers, please?
Yes, Mr. Thi Hoài Thanh, Mr. Phạm Đức Thọ, Mr. Đặng Hoàng Tuấn, Miss Lê Bảo Trân.
Okay. How about Miss Đơn Trang? Is that correct?
Actually, we are just asking about the first 4 presenters. Yeah, the ones who already presented. So when maybe you Miss Huân, maybe you read the agenda very carefully and you mentioned other presenters who has not who haven't presented yet. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the correct answer for this question, Miss Đơn Trang?
Yeah, actually, we have all 4 presenters. Yeah, Mr. Shang, Mr. Thanh, Mr. Thor, and Mr. Lạp, right? Until now.
Yes. Okay. So now, Miss Đơn Trang, okay, we already finished questioning. So can you give us the result of the points of the attendees?
Yeah. So Mr. Gia Bảo 1 mark, Miss Như Huân like 2, Mr. Hoàng Luân 2, Miss Thúy Diễm 1, Miss Thu Thủy 2 and Miss Thuyen 1. So we have like 3 participants with the same score. Maybe we would go to the final round, another question, okay, to find out
Yes.
the winner.
So you mean Mr. Hoàng Luân, right? Miss Như Huấn, Miss Huấn and
Miss Thu Thủy.
Miss Thu Thủy. Okay. So Mr. Hoàng Luân, Miss Huấn and Miss Thu Thủy. Okay. 3 of you will have to take the final round with 1 question. Okay. If you know the answer, just raise the hand immediately. And if you can answer it correctly, you will be the winner of the game. Okay. Ready? Okay. So who is the MC of today's workshop? All right, Mr. Hoàng Luân, please.
So the MCs are Đoan Trang and Tường Vi. Is it true?
Are you confident with your answer?
Actually, from the beginning to now, I just, two beautiful MCs right now is Đoan Trang and Tường Vi. So I think you are the MCs of today's presentation.
Thank you. I don't need to check. Okay, I don't need to check Mr. Chan to check for me. That is the correct answer. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for your attendance. After a few minutes playing the game together, I'm glad to announce that the game winner is Mr. Nguyễn Hoàng Luân. Congratulations, Mr. And I'm extremely grateful for everyone for passionate engagement in our game as well. And we will send you Mr. Hoàng Luân our gift through email after the workshop.
Thank you.
And everyone, once again, could you please spend a few minutes filling the feedback form that we sent you in the chat box a few minutes ago. And it's time for your self-relaxation. We will be back and continue the event at 15:30. So thank you. So everyone, we will go back at 15:30. So now it's time for you to have a cup of coffee or something to relax.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's time to be back. Okay. It's nice to see you again. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So, hope that you have time to enjoy yourself and relax a little bit before we continue this program. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue the program with the only female speaker of today's workshop, Miss Lê Bảo Trân. She had experience of working in AMA English Language Center before she returned to her hometown and applied to Tân Lược High School. Her teaching philosophy highlights the devotion and dedication of her entire life for education. She said, "There are no naughty students. They have just lost their treasure, and the teacher's mission is to help them discover their true value to find out themselves." So she is delivering a presentation on the application of 4-3-2 technique to enhance grade 10th student speaking fluency. So good afternoon, Miss Bảo Trân.
Good afternoon, Miss Dong Trang.
Yeah, so I think that you are ready to start your sharing now.
Yeah, I'm eager to share now.
Yeah, so the floor is yours. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Trân, and in case you don't know who I am, I would like to introduce myself a bit. I'm a very normal teacher of English in Tân Lược High School, and I love traveling, reading books, and of course teaching English. But unfortunately, it used not to include speaking periods because this seemed to be a terrible time for not only me, but also my students. So why do I say so? Let me show you this thing. I made a simple survey on nearly 150 of my 10th grade students about what skills they are afraid of the most. And after 8 weeks working with them, and here is their answer. As you can see, I received 95 votes for speaking skill, which only ranks after listening skill, the most difficult skill according to NAVILIA 2020. So the statistics reveal that speaking is actually a huge obstacle to students' English development. When I asked them for the reason, most of the answers indicated the fluency shortage. Learners may feel a lack of confidence and they aren't willing to open their mouths in my speaking lesson. So, what is speaking fluency? Iswara in 2012 defined speaking fluency as the natural ability to speak spontaneously as quickly, smoothly, accurately, lucidly, efficiently, and comprehensively with few errors that may distract the listener from the speaker's message under the temporal constraints of online processing. So, as a teacher, how can I develop fluency in speaking for my learners? There are many ways to answer this question, and one of the most simple but effective methods that I usually apply to my students is the 4-3-2 technique. It is first discovered by Morris in 1983 and then developed by Paul Nation in 1989. He is an emeritus professor in applied linguistics at the School of LALS at Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. And if you want to know more about him, please access the link below. So now, let's move on to the most important part of the presentation today, how to apply the 4-3-2 technique in the classroom. So from my experiences, I divide my 40 students into 10 groups of 4 and ask them to talk about a familiar topic that could be picked up from the textbook. Maybe about the environment, the technological inventions, the music, or as simple as the household sharing in their family. Then, in the small group, maybe including A, B, C, and D, the students will be given some minutes to think of what they will talk about. For my students, I do require them to take notes of their ideas. And after that, the two learners choose a partner and present the talk to him or her for 4 minutes. A will talk to B, C will talk to D, and vice versa. And after that, they stop a bit and take a 30-second break and then change the partners and start talking again on the same topic to the new listener within 3 minutes. But remember, the two listeners cannot interrupt and ask questions. They just listen. So this time, in the second stage, A will talk to C, B will talk to D, and vice versa. And when the fourth members all have a chance to talk, they take another 30-second break and change the partners again. This time, the speakers have only 2 minutes to give the same talk for the third time to their new partners. First, with the student A, he will talk to B, C, and D with less time to do in each stage. Well, there are 3 important notes for applying this technique. Number 1, make sure your students repeat the same talk because this is the key for their fluency improvement. Number 2, remember to spend 30 seconds break so that your students can relax, drink water, or even sing a piece of music to clear their voice or something like that. But I recommend you to instruct them to think back what they have just said on the first stage, and they can find better vocabulary or structures to express the ideas on the next step, which this technique yearns for. And number 3, don't forget to reduce the time for your students' talk as it can encourage their fluency. This interesting technique can not only be applied in the classroom, but it is also a helpful tool for learning autonomy. Therefore, when the students get used to the technique, I will ask them to give a talk like this on their own at home as a piece of homework. For more specific, students can choose any topic that they are keen on. I mean, the related lessons topic are highly recommended, but students are free to choose what they're going to talk about. And it is a good opportunity for learners to gain new things beyond what they have engaged in the classroom. And next, they will make their 4-3-2 minute talks and record their work with Vocero or any recording apps that they like, both online and offline. After that, students will publicize their audios on the personal folder, which is later used as a kind of portfolio. And then other students will visit, listen, and leave comments for the talk about the strong points and mistakes that they can recognize from the talks so that they can learn from each other, make a comparison with their peers, and realize their weaknesses. The result I gained until now is quite ideal, as my students find it exciting to count how many words they can cut off after each stage and also positively evaluate to point out the mistakes in their peers' talks. Well, a big question raised here is that does the 4-3-2 technique actually work well? And I'm going to show you how this technique affects and improves learners. So the first benefit is, of course, the fluency. In Paul Nation's experiment, he included 10 males and 10 females coming from 16 different countries in the world with ages ranging from 19 to 50 years. Paul Nation's findings in Table 2, as you can see on the screen, indicated that learners made remarkable increases in their speaking speed, up to 62.1%, as you can see with subject 14. And moreover, in Table 3, the frequency of hesitations among the learners also exposed the overall grammatical decrease up to 55%. Let's see the subject 7. And Paul Nation also stated that the number of phone stars, hesitation items like and repeated words is in then I said decreased in each case study. The 4-3-2 technique is also effective in terms of enhancing accuracy for learners. And here is an example of my student talk. Well, I picked it up from one of his vocabulary files, and I did omit his hesitation items. So it can be seen from the example that in the first stage, the student made a lot of grammatical and word form mistakes, which are displayed by the brown color. And then, when he repeated the talk again, the number of errors made a significant decrease. You can see the red ones. And in the final stage, he continued self-assessing and correcting as what have been shown by the green color. In addition, the number of words also fell from 132 in stage 1 to 108 in stage 2, and finally 98 words in stage 3. It is because the student had time to choose the more suitable vocabulary to express his ideas. Well, Arab in 2016 also conducted a familiar experiment on 10 first-year LMD students at the English Department, University Professor Mentory Constantin, and the result of the findings in terms of grammatical errors also supported what I said above, displayed in Table 4. As you can see, most of the subjects performed the decreases in grammar use, up to 52.29% in subject 5. So, for all of the evidence above, I hope that you can confidently apply this simple but amazing technique and see how it becomes a good assistance on your learners' speaking fluency development. If it works well in your classes, don't hesitate to contact me and vote 5-star for my talk today. And I hope that you will enjoy our workshop today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Bảo Trân. I hope you all enjoy this amazing presentation. And now, our participants, if you have any questions or comments for Ms. Zhang's presentation, please raise your hand. Yeah, so I see Mr. Minh Nhật raise his hand. Yeah, so Mr. Minh Nhật raised his question first and later Ms. Như Huân. Okay.
Please turn on your mic, Mr.
Yeah, please turn on your mic.
All right, sorry. Now, can you hear me clearly? All right, first of all, thank you very much for the presentation. I really love it because of its usefulness and information. So my question is, there are two questions. I have two questions. So my question are, the first is, which class is suited the most to this technique? 432, right? Which class? I mean, in which class? How many students in the class? Okay. Which size of the class? Okay. The next question is that how do you deal with the bigger level gaps between students? For example, low-level students cannot spot the mistake of their peers, and some students can realize their own mistakes themselves and fix it in the next phase of speaking. However, some cannot fix it in the next phase of speaking. So how do we deal with that? Because if the class is so crowded, we cannot check every single student, especially online. So how would fit? Thank you.
So thank you very much for your question, Mr. Minh Nhật, and I'm going to share a little bit about that. You know, as far as I know, there are several studies that have been conducted so far related to the 432 technique, and the target students in the sample class is totally different. They are maybe from young learners to high school students and even adults. So I think the number of students in the classroom doesn't affect too much on this 432 technique. And it depends on the way the teacher arrange the class and manage the classroom. For example, I think teacher can make use of the in the crowded classroom, teacher can make use of the listeners to like the referees to observe and to give feedback for the speaker so that they can control the classroom much better. And in the second question, you asked me that sorry, can you repeat a little bit?
All right. So the second question is kind of long, so I will repeat it. So how do we, the teachers, deal with the level gap, the big level gaps between students? Because low-level students cannot spot the mistakes themselves, and also cannot spot the mistakes from other students, from their peers. And some students is in a high level, so they can spot the mistake and can realize the mistakes themselves and fix it in the next phase of speaking. But some cannot. So how do we deal with this? Because there is no time. There's so little time for us to do it ourselves. Okay. So how do we group the students? All right.
Okay, thank you. So I think the purpose of this 432 technique yearns for is to help students improve their fluency and accuracy. So with high level students, if they can correct the mistakes on their own through practicing this 432 technique, I think it's good. And I think it's would be a good assistance for teachers to correct and to recognize the mistake of other students. I think it's nothing like barriers for them to use this technique. And with low-level students who cannot recognize their own mistake and who cannot correct themselves, I think the teacher's mission first is to make sure that teacher like teach them enough vocabulary and grammar points to use. And we cannot say that because it's too much students, then we can check any other works of them, because teacher, when they give the task for the students, they must make sure that the student do it and can help them somehow to improve themselves. So when high level student, you mean correct their peers, and your teachers also need to recheck and to recognize which mistakes cannot be correct, haven't been corrected yet, and you can tell the low level students after that. I think that's, I hope that my answer will please you a bit. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nhật, for your question. And the next participant to raise the question is Ms. Như Huỳnh and later Mr. Hoàng Luân. And after that, if you still have some more questions, please submit your question via the form provided. Yeah, thank you. Now, Ms. Như Huỳnh next, please.
Yes, thank you for your informative and helpful presentations. I would like to have one question, is that are there any drawbacks or problems when teachers apply these techniques in their classes?
Well, thank you, Ms. Huỳnh, for a very interesting question. And I think it's true to say that the 4-3-2 technique, like any other technique so far, is not perfect. And I think one of the biggest problems that teachers may encounter when they first apply it to the class is how to make sure that their students keep talking during 4 minutes. Are there so many students in the real classroom, and sometimes, I mean, it's hard to observe and control all of the learners at the same time, and maybe it's not like you cannot apply the 4-3-2 technique, but teacher must find ways to deal with this problem. So maybe they will spend time. In my opinion, teachers can make sure that the topic is clear and interesting enough for students to engage. Once they like their topic, they are willing to share. And next, make sure that the listeners, that they are the one who listen to the speakers and observe the expressions and work as a referees. So in case that speaker stops too early, they will give feedback and remind the speaker to keep on. One more thing, it depends on the real situation, but if it's suitable in your classroom, you can try to let the students get involved in a competitive atmosphere. I mean, students will set time for each speaking stage, and the one who stopped the earliest will get a small punishment from their partner. Of course, under the teacher's control, maybe just singing a song or buying a cup of milk tea or something like that. So I think these are some steps that teachers can try to solve this problem, and I hope it will helpful to you. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your constructive question, Ms. Như Huỳnh. And yeah, maybe Mr. Luân, I saw you raised your hand.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Bảo Trân, for your presentation. So I find it very useful for my teachings. But actually, I have some questions for you. So you mentioned that in your presentation, so 4-3-2 technique can be used to boost student, like both accuracy and fluency. But actually, in reality, we just focus on like one of the two, like fluency or accuracy. But this one is more suitable for fluency. And the first question of mine is that, do you need to provide vocabulary input for the student so that they have more vocabulary in the speaking stage? And the second question is that, how can you control or manage or assess students' learning outcome at the end of the lesson? And the third question is, at the post-speaking activity, so what activities or what do you usually do to evaluate or assess students' learning outcome? So they are three questions that I want to ask you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lung, for your question, and I'm going to share a little bit about your to answer this question. So first, you asked me that this technique is much suitable for fluency. You mean that?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
I think, and you asked me about how whether or not teachers give the vocabulary input to the student.
Yeah, but before my question, like the answer that you gave to Mr. Nhật is that you tell him that we can use this technique for accuracy and fluency, like the student can develop during this speaking activity. But actually, so I used to apply this activity in my class, and I just focus on fluency, not about accuracy. So what do you think about this one first? And then I got three following questions for you. Okay, I hope that you will answer my question.
Okay, so I think fluency is top prior for this technique because when the students are asked to give the talk in 4 minutes, they just try to express their ideas. But when they repeat the talk, I think they somehow self-correct their grammatical mistake, and I think it's something yearns for the accuracy. For example, in the first time, student will say something like, "My mother." If you look at my examples clearly, and you can see that in the first time they will say like, "My father get," or "My father something," and it's wrong in the simple present tense. And in the second stage, maybe they can check it again and say that, "Oh, my father, we need to use gets." And I think it's something related to accuracy. It's not too much. It still follow the fluency, but I think it has something contribute to the accuracy development for students.
Okay, right. I got your points, but how can you like you check like the material, the work of the student at the end, and you realize that they make a very good progress, right? About both fluency and accuracy, or
Yeah.
in the speaking activity, or after or post the speaking activities.
Maybe during and after also, because when the student do the technique in the classroom, the teacher will walk around and see how they work with their friends, and then a teacher can recognize at that moment. And then with my homework, I would ask them to put it on the portfolio so that their peers can see that, and as teacher you can see it too. So it is their work, their products, and it's the time for you to recheck that whether they are improve something or not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's my question, and I think your answer also includes my question number 1, 2, and 3. So I think it's okay. And thank you
Okay.
for your answers. Yeah.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy our workshop today.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hoàng Lương, for your contribution questions, and thank you, Ms. Bảo Trang, again for your answers. So it seems that our participants are interested in the use of the technique 432. So if you have some more questions to raise, so please send your questions via the link provided in the chat box, and Ms. Bảo Trang will respond via email later. Thank you.
Yes, and now I'm glad to welcome Mr. Đặng Hoàng Tuấn, the last speaker of today's workshop, who will present utilizing Audacity audio recording software for the EFL classroom. Mr. Tuấn is a teacher of English at Thới Long High School in Cần Thơ City, and he also an MA candidate at Cần Thơ University. Experiencing teaching students of various levels, he always hopes to motivate them in learning English as well as help them improve English language skills. His main interest is to utilize the power of technological advancement in teaching practices to bring better and more effective lessons to students. And now, good afternoon, Mr. Tuấn.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Okay.
Are ready to begin now, right?
Yes, okay, I'm ready. So let me share my screen. Okay.
Yes. Okay, now I pass the floor for you.
Yes, okay, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I didn't got that. Sorry. So can you check again? Like I cannot share this. They say that the whole disabled participant screen sharing. Mm. Okay, so hello everybody. So I do believe that when you are teaching and for sure you can find out some authentic material on like Facebook or British Council, especially listening file. And at that time, adaptations is a need for that because it can be too long or too short, or you need to double it. So I do think that we need to adjust it. And a need for visuals and audio support for teachers and students in language classroom is always indispensable. Sometimes, however, such files are too long, as I say, or sometimes it's too strong for the core content. So we need to adapt it. And language teachers also have a desire to create their own tailor-made listening material for students. So I think that Audacity, audio recording software for the EFL classroom can help in this situation. And what I introduce here, I mean, is a Microsoft Word for audio editing because it's very easy to use and can be handled in most situations. You can using this for for a lot various types of audio file. So my presentation on utilizing Audacity audio recording software for the EFL class here, including some main points. The first one is the introduction, and then I'll come with a quick guide to Audacity, and I will share some of my experience using this, and I will finish with my conclusion. So the first part, Audacity is a free and open source software for recording and editing sounds that's run on Windows, Mac, or Linux. It allows us to do many things, such as voice recording, digitizing, and recording audio playing on the computer. It also can be used to record the sounds that's suitable for our choice. What's more, and especially, we can edit it exactly the way we want. We can cut, yes, copy part, delete some part, and record inside silence or song, or even split the recording into separate parts that we want. So, in other words, we can say that we can create our own listening extract exactly the way we want and according to our needs with Audacity. So this is the logos of the Audacity software and the link. I will send it for you later. So when you install it, and it can help you to do a lot of things with your audio file. All right. So I'll come with a quick guide to Audacity. And when you install the software and run that, this will be a screen that you will see. Very easy to use, just some function like here. Okay, so we mainly use, so the red button here is for voice recording. You can play or pause with this, or stop, come back, or straightforward with that. And some of the graphic representation that we can see when we insert the audio file. All right, that's the brief introduction about this, and also some function related to file, edit, view, track, generate, effect, and analyze. So, to create or to record your own voice, just do some very simple steps. The first one, you plug in your microphone into the input on your PC. Then you open the programs, click the red button that I mentioned, and start talking. When you finish talking, and to finish your audio recording, click stop and start editing your project. So then later you can save it as a project for later adjustment or export it as an MP3 players, MP3 file for later use. So I'll come with some demonstration related to some basic functions. The first one, I will conduct, record or import audio as a demonstration, and then effect for noise reduction. I think this is the good option that Audacity brings here. And then we practice edit some audio, the effect of fact in and fact out, and effect we can use amplify it to make the sound stronger or bigger, and then we normalize to make the sound lower. And the final step is export audio. So let me share something with the demonstration. So here's the screen when we open the Audacity. So I think that you all got that. And then when you click on the button here, the red buttons, then you start to record your voice. And whatever you say, they will help you to record it. But then later, you realize that there's a lot of noise, like the sounds of the fan of the TV or the sounds of another person. So it will help you to reduce it by the function like noise reduction. So just for example, this is too much noise for this period. So you can use the function, you can use the function like effect, and then you click on noise reduction. Is this? And you get the noise pollution. Later that you again come with effect and noise reduction. You will click on, they will decide noise reduction for how many decibel, sensitivity, and just click OK. So you will really see that it's become smaller. So that means the noise is reduced outside of the audio file. Yes. So you got my idea, but then later you find that, oh, the sound is small, it's too small and it's low. You want it bigger. So again, you come to the effect and to amplify. At that time, they will allow you to make the sound bigger. So you can see that this is some function that we can do that. And later, when the teachers prepare the listening test for the student, and the teacher may pick up from the IELTS stats from the listening file, but they include a lot of parts that we don't need, so we need to cut it out. So let me show you how to edit an audio file. All right. So by this function, you click on File and then you import the audio. Here's this, and then you easily choose the audio file that you need. For example, I'll choose one file here. Oh, sorry, just wait a minute. Okay, and just choose the file that you need to edit. Okay. All right, so just wait, it's too slow. Yes, here's this. So I think that its function is really okay because it can help you to edit the file exactly the way that you want the audio file is. So let me get a file as an example. Is this? I'll choose this audio. So they will import your audio file here, and then when you see that, oh, the first part is not you don't need it. So just try it, and then easy, you can see cut, copy, paste, or even you can put the right click on and cut, copy, or paste it. Or for easy, you just click on delete on your keyboard, and then you will see this is. So I'll make it. For example, we cut it. Yes, this is the pair. And then when you see that too much, the no sounds here, so you can edit it. Or even you want to copy it, you just track on and click on, oh sorry, just track it and then click and copy. Then you want to double it. That means in class, you want your student to listen twice. So just here and pass. So I think it's really, and you don't need to play the recording twice. You can do that exactly at the same time. And now with the function, like something you want your audios, like reduce the volumes at the end of the recording. So the effect can help you. You can choose the effect and then choose fade in or fade down. All right. When you choose the fade down, so you can see that the voice is smaller coming to the end. All right. And if you say that, oh, this period or this recording is sometimes too much loud for your student, you can lower that again with the effect, and then you choose normalize. Okay, here's this. So when you choose normalize, you will see that you can reduce how many decibels of your voice, of the audio sound. Then click OK, and you will see that the rapid become smaller. So that is some function that we can do. Some very basic function. For later you can discuss this. You can discover more and track, generate effect, a lot of effect for you for echo, for distortion, or for compressor. So very useful. But for the time limitation, so I just introduce you some eight main function. So final, you want to publish this. So there are many ways. The first one, you click on file and then save the project. Here you can save it, and for later adjustment, if you want to correct it, you want to improve it, you can later come and adjust and edit again. For sure, or you want to export it as an MP3 file, you choose the function export and then export a MP3 player. For example, we click here, and then they will go directly to the window that you can save your project. Yes, and then you can easily play the name and click on save and use it as you want. So these are some functions that I share with you. I will a very brief demonstration, and I think that when you discover it, you will find it really suitable for you. So I'll continue with some sharing about my experience for using it. Okay, so just wait a minute. So after the demonstration, so for my teachings, this is my experience using Audacity audio recordings software for the EFL classroom. These are some activity and also some tips also suggested by Gomez Martinez in 2010. The first one, we can play with the speed. Okay, actually you can make the audio file a little bit faster or a little bit slower with audio with Audacity. And then as we say, we can edit the listening track for some exams or for some practice for students, and then create tailor-made listening track by recording our own voice, or we just let students to record their own voice for the reading or for the conversation or for their project, and then record short chunks of language. You can record and let students to hear, to listen to that again, or even you can let your student record themselves and then compare with the rapid representation. And then finally, you can record or insert the silence or pause. Sometimes you want to let your student a silence moment to think what they are saying or report what they have heard from the audio recordings. So I think these functions really help. So in conclusion, I think that Audacity is the free and open source for recordings and editing sound. And I think that's really easy to use. And so this gives and provides many opportunity for not only language teaching, but for both teachers and students for enjoyment and also self-fulfillment in teaching and learning language. Therefore, I hope that you can find these ideas useful and to improve your everyday teachings and face with new challenges with confidence. That's all about my sharing for utilizing Audacity audio recording software for the EFL classroom. I would be very happy to receive on the questions from you, also the sharing from you, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Tuấn, for your very practical sharing. And it's questioning time for all the participants. I think Mr. Tuấn is willing to receive the questions from you, so please raise hand if you have some. Yes, Mr. Minh Nhật, yes, please raise your questions. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Again, first and foremost, thank you for your presentation. This is very informative and useful at the same time. Yeah. However, I find a little difficult to utilize this application in teaching because the presenter said that this presentation is very useful for both teacher and students to work with the sound. However, I wonder if there is any other application we can use it on mobile because or there is any mobile versions of this application because most of the teacher have their own laptop or PC. How about students, and how do we utilize this application with the students who don't have a laptop or PC, have to work on iPad or mobile?
Yes. Yes, okay. Thank you so much for your questions. So there, as I say, there are many apps or many software that the teacher can use. For laptop, you have many online version. You can edit it directly, or even you can record your voice like Camtasia. Yes, but for student, and of course you say that's a mobile version. You can go on Google Store and click on Audacity. I think there are plenty of apps for students, for record, for cut and connect the audio together. For students, it's very easy to use, but the good point of the Audacity is that it allows us to edit very detailed, like to have it to reduce the noise. Yes, and within the apps rather than using another app to reduce the noise. And here is just for like it's very friendly version. You can see that just some button and some basic function, and student can do that. But for online, so I think that you can go to the Google Store and click on Audacity if you use a list like Wave Editor for Android or Audacity. It also have a mobile version or some Vietnamese name like biên tập âm nhạc or Cosos Audacity free. So I think it's really helpful for students if we mention the student version. That's my sharing about some other apps besides Audacity.
All right, thank you for the answer. So I just want to make sure that the teacher and the students can utilize on the method ourselves. So if we want to make the presentation even better, we should put some more recommendations, recommended apps at the end of the presentation. Just that. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nhật, for your questions and your recommendation. And how about the other participants? Any questions you want to raise? Yeah, okay, Miss Thu Thủy, please.
Yeah, thank you for Mr. Tuấn presentation, and this is useful for me. But I have some I wonder that, can you tell me some problems or disadvantages of this software so I can note some problems when I can use it?
Yes. From experience, I think that there are too much small function that the app will take a lot of time if we want to discover to use it only on the functions, because I will say that in effect we have a list of functions and we need time to discover it, so that it will take the teacher or the student time if they want to make a professional audio recording. But just for basis functions, so I think it's okay. And disadvantages is just one, it will take time for discovering it. That's from my side.
Thank you, Ms. Thu Thủy, for questioning, and Mr. Tuấn, you have a very clear responses. Ms. Thu Thủy, I think that you are satisfied with Mr. Tuấn sharing, right?
Yes, yeah. I want to say thank you for the answer of Mr. Tuấn. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Miss, very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I think, okay, Miss Bích Thuyền. Yes, okay, I see your hand. Yeah, just go ahead, Miss, please.
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you very much for Mr. Hoàng Tuấn presentation. It's very informative to me. Like I can help my student to create some tracks for listening, and they can record their recording to have them to enhance their speaking skills. So that I wonder if we can use this app without internet connection or not. Yeah, that's it, my question.
Yes, okay, we can use the app without internet connections because we store the file in our PC, our device, and then we create it and save it to our device. So this software is not required internet connection. You can use it offline.
Yes, thank you very much. It's very useful, but I think it's quite difficult to me to create to use, because it's very a lot of many buttons to use. If I need some further information, please help me out of our class.
Yes, yeah. I'm willing to have. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Thuyền, for questioning and comments.
I see the question from our
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
our instructor, Mr. Nguyễn Duy Khang, also raised the questions here. How do you use Audacity for teaching in your classroom, not for preparation? I think that Mr. Tuấn is also ready for answering it, right?
Yes, so I think that I just want to use it directly in my class. That I let students to record their voice in vocab lesson. For example, they record their voice and then they compare the sounds from the rapid presentation with the sounds from the dictionary, and they can compare it, and later they can adjust it. And this activity attracts them a lot, and they really get involved in this activity. That's one time that I use it directly for my teachings. It's from my sharings. Thanks, Doctor.
He also say that he means something that you have not thought of.
So I think that in the future, if I use it directly for my teaching process, I will let students record longer conversation rather than just words, or even let them to look at the graphics presentation and then try to adjust their voice fit to that to have better pronunciation. That's my thought for the future teaching.
Yeah, I think Mr. Tuấn will respond is will satisfy our instructor.
Okay.
Yes.
If you want to hear from me.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure,
Interesting.
we want to hear from the expert. From an expert. So
Okay.
Yes.
Usually, when I use Audacity, I use in the classroom. I use this for listening. I use for dictation and shadowing. So we, both the teacher and the student, do not know exactly what will be in the Audacity. We select randomly a file.
Yes.
And then we get it into just the wave. And then we select one. Okay, where do you want to select one? And then both student and teacher try to listen and dictate.
Yes.
See what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because sometimes my students are not at the level of youngster or teenagers. Some of them are really good at their listening and speaking skills. Sometimes we cannot blame the lesson to teach them. Sometimes we have to teach something that both my student and I do not expect, and we do together. And sometimes, they see the reality that sometimes we have to struggle with the information. Okay.
Yes.
So I teach my student that way so that I convince them to practice every day, because even I am a teacher, I have to learn. I have to learn every day, because there will be a time that I will have the same situation, that I listen to something that I don't know. Okay. So that's how I use it in my teaching. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your sharing. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kang, so much for your meaningful sharing. And Mr. Minh Nhật, would you like to say something more? Yeah, would you like to say something? I see your hand.
No, that's a clap. It's not our hand raiser.
Okay, a clap. I say yes. Thank you. You gave a clap for our instructor, right, Mr.
Sure.
Thank you. And Mr. Trang, please.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to 5 presentations of today's workshop, and we are grateful for your attention. So could you please double check if you finished completing the feedback form so that we could make sure that we don't miss your contribution and send you the workshop certificates afterwards via email, because the link for the feedback form will be closed in 3 days after this workshop. And then we will proceed to check the feedback and send you the certificates to you. Yes. And we also organize a lucky draw to randomly choose the 4 luckiest participants who had registered in advance and are still here with us until now to receive our workshop present, a phone recharge card. And we are using the number in your name code to carry out this game. So are you ready? So wait a minute, I will share my screen. Our instructor, could you please give me the right to share my screen just in a few minutes to find out some lucky participants today? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so everybody, can you see my screen now? Yes. Yeah. So yeah, so we are about to find out the 4 luckiest participants. So now let's look for the first one. All right. So I will start right now. So congratulations, the participant with the code PA32. Are you here? Could you please raise your hand? Number 32. Yes. So please raise your hand. Raise your hand if you are here. Okay. Maybe the participant is not here with us. So let's move on to find out another one. Okay. Yeah. So we will look for another one. So yeah. Yeah, so number 9. Raise your hand if you are here with us. Okay. The participant with number 9. PA09. Raise your hand, please. Miss B, could you please check for me?
Yes, I have already checked. The participant who owned number 9 is not here with us right now. I believe that's been another one for finding another lucky number.
Yeah, so we will continue to find out. Yeah, so number 21 PA. Yes. If you are here, raise your hand so let us know. All right.
It seems like no one today wants to receive our gift.
Yes. All right. So
number.
Move on, right? Yeah. What about number 27?
It's me. It's
me.
My God.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. You are the very lucky person today. All right. So now let's move on to find out someone else. Okay. Congratulations. All right. So the next participant is the one with the code PA36. Are you here with us now?
That person is not here as well.
Not here. All right. So we move on. All right. So maybe, yeah, it's a little bit hard to find out the lucky person.
Please,
all right?
2, 26, 17, 19, please.
Yeah, number 49, PA 49, 45, sorry, 45.
45, yes. We have Miss Thái Vân.
Yeah, so could you please raise your hand? Yes, Miss. So Miss B, please, could you please note down, please? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so now we move on. We still have 2 more slots, okay? All right, so congratulations, the participant who owns number 16, PA 16. Are you here?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, congratulations, Miss Huân Đào. All right, so 16. All right, Miss Huân Đào. Okay, and then let's move on to find out the last. Yeah, just a few seconds. Yeah, so congratulations, congratulate to the participant who owns the number 46.
No number
not here. All right, so we move on.
Not,
okay.
Yeah, it's not received.
All right, so what about number 34? I hope that we can find out the one What's the number
Yeah.
34?
This is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So could you please tell
Okay.
me, tell me your name? Yes.
My name is Hunya.
Hunya. All right. Congratulations, Miss Hunya. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are very lucky today to be our last, right, luckiest person. All right. So now I will stop sharing my screen. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Yes, and participate in our workshop today. So we would like to congratulate the 4 luckiest participants on winning our lucky draw. Miss Tường Vi, Miss Thái Vân, Miss Huỳnh Đào, and Miss Huỳnh Nhớ, right? Yeah, and congratulations to Mr. Lung, the winner of the prior game with his amazing memory. So you will receive our gifts via emails. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate again for joining long time with us. I hope this workshop would be beneficial to our audience, and this is also the end of our workshop. After this workshop, we would like to recommend another workshop in the series of this second national workshop on professional development and English learning autonomy, which takes place on December 5th. The link for the workshop Facebook and related information will be posted on our Facebook and Zalo group. So please check the latest post for further information. Thank you for your participation. Yeah, it's the end of our workshop today. If you have some other tasks to do, okay, you just feel free to leave to do your work. Thank you. And we would like to send you the certificate email later. Thank you for your participation and contribution.
Recording stopped.